Hello and welcome to Fans Traumas, Robots with These Guys. We podcast because it's something productive to do while collecting little toys. Tonight we are going to be talking about Armada, the cartoon, the toys, and if we get time, the PlayStation game. But before then, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Jay, your traumatized host, and with me as ever is Dan. Hi Dan.
Hello.
Joining us is Phil. Hey Phil.
Evening, guys.
And back for more punishment is Matthew, as long as he can survive the end of the episode. Hey, Matthew.
Hey, how's it going?
Not bad, thank you very much. Okay, awesome. So, first up, before we cover the wonder that is Transformers Armada, we're going to talk a little bit about the news. So, at the point of recording, there has been a massive news drop from Takara. They have shown some lovely pictures from one of their toy shows of all the amazing stuff that they get to have and we get to pay premiums for. So, first up, I'm just going to list some stuff and you guys can tell me if you've seen these and what you think of them. Beast Wars 2 is big. Huge at the moment in that we are getting Galvatron, we're getting Gigastorm, which is literally Trypticon with a new hat, we're getting Nemesis Star Convoy, and we're getting MPG Star Saber, I believe. Guys, have you seen these?
Yeah, I think it's a Damas Machina Star Saber or something.
Oh, it's not MPG.
It's not MPG.
It's that. Yeah,
it's the same line that Rodimus was from, wasn't it? Yeah, which makes sense, because he does look a lot like the IDW Bastard Star Saber.
Oh, yeah, the idiot, the zealot, or whatever it was. Yeah.
See, I don't know what he's from. He just looks like a Gundam who's been to the gym.
Star Saber, you guys interested in that? Have you got the Adamus Machina stuff already?
No, but the more I look at it, the more I like it, mostly because Matt's just said it looks like a Gundam that's hit the gym. And I have a lot of Gundams. Also,
I would agree with that.
I feel like he's got some hidden gimmicks and stuff in there. He's I can see he's got two swords on the side of his hips, and they've got like two handles each. So I think they split into two swords or they turn into guns.
Okay. Was that a thing in IDW? I can't remember.
He basically showed up in IDW, shouted Primus hates you, got sliced in half by Cyclonus, and that was most of it, I think.
I mean, we can dream of such a career ourselves, you know.
I'd like to ask, because I don't actually know, so you can fill me in here, but Big Nemesis Prime, where's he from? Because I admittedly, the thing that caught my eye is little tiny Shock Blast.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool, but I don't remember a Big Nemesis Prime in, was it Energon?
No, it's... Yeah, Shock Blast, definitely Energon, although it is just Shockwave, the core class, with a green paint job.
Yep.
But no, I think it's one of those certainties. If there's an Optimus Prime mold, it is going to be painted black and called Nemesis. It just happens.
Totally fair.
The black Nemesis Star Convoy deco looks incredible, but it doesn't look import tax incredible.
See, I'm actually a bit gutted that it was Nemesis colours, because someone, just before the colour render of this dropped, posted it in kind of more shattered glass colours, so it was purple. And I would have bought that in a heartbeat, but no, it is the traditional black and teal.
I think I like a lot of these in the sense that I missed the originals of them. So Trypticon with a new hat I like because I don't have a Trypticon for a big like that. I like the sort of big Nemesis in the sense that there is a bit in Armada where Nemesis gets real big. It's the wrong Nemesis, but it would sort of suffice. And I didn't bother with the Power of the Primes Star Convoy one, and I still won't. Same with Star Saber. Like I didn't get the Star Saber a couple of years back, the HasLab one. I like that figure. I'm not going to get a hold of it nowadays. But at some point, I'd like a Star Saber in my collection. It's not going to be hench unicorn
though. There is an MP that's quite reasonable price, and if you drag yourself all the way to TFN, there are G1 Star Sabers on the stands. You have to come along and see them.
Will one day.
But the one that I've decided to save till last to mention is Beast Wars 2 Galvatron. Now, I don't know how big fans you are of Japanese Transformers things, but he has an interesting colour scheme and an even more interesting alt mode, because he's very vibrantly pink, and he turns into a lengthy purple drill. And it's quite the most phallic alt mode you have ever seen, and it's in baby pink and purple.
He does have a purple helmet, and he is a warrior.
Yes, yeah, yeah. I think it's the first time I'm actually glad a toy's not going to come with a battery-powered gimmick.
No vibrate functions.
Yeah. I don't know what Takara were thinking when they designed it, but they were like, oh, long and pointy, and what colour should it be?
Yeah. If that's the thing that kills it getting imported, that's going to be so funny. Tragic, but funny.
I can't help but picture this in the kind of because I've not seen Beast Wars 2, but I can't help but imagine this with the Beast Wars 1 Megatron voice going, yes.
Oh my god, yeah.
Motion activated sound chip.
But he has knee guns. He has literally triple barreled cannons that poke out of his knees, which is just
quadruple barrel cannons.
Yeah. Is it quadruple? Oh, I stand corrected. I obviously can't count all the way up to 4. Yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic range of stuff that we are not going to get unless we want to pay through the nose to get them. Speaking of, what are they doing with Missing Link? What has happened? I feel like we've gone off course.
People are so mad about this.
It's very divided. People are excited and people are mad, as always with Transformers.
This is Ironhide and Ratchet, yeah? What are they asking for?
Yeah. Not much. It's over £100 each, but you know.
Yes.
But
I don't get the argument at the head. What did you think? What did you think that a modernised version of the G1 toy was going to do? Of course, they're going to give him a head.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing, it's not just the head. If they'd gone ahead and they've added the head on with, more articulation, fine. It's a completely different toy. Yeah. I love Missing Link. This is not Missing Link for me.
I think they look great.
They do look good, ish. But I feel like there's been a mission creep. Like they set out with a mission for we're going to redo your favourite toys in the G1 style.
Yep.
We're going to add some elbows and knees so you can photograph them beautifully and you can enjoy them. And then they went, what if we were doing it again today? How would we do it? And it's like, no, that's not. I could just buy a Generations Ironhide. I could just buy an MP Ironhide. I could just. That I don't understand. I mean, I do understand it, and it's not going to keep me up at night. But it seems like a weird departure, and eventually it's just going to be, what if they were all MP sized? What if they were all based on cars that you could buy in 2026? Well, no, guys, pick a lane. Focus on it. We were very excited to get the old toys again, new, and now you're just leaping all over the place, and we're like, I don't know if I want to follow you.
Exactly, because I like what they did with
that different.
Completely.
Yeah.
It's Ironhide, and the alt mode is the same, but apart from that, completely different. There's not, arms, legs, thighs. They're completely different.
Yeah, the longer I'm looking at it, the more actual differences to the rest of the toy I'm seeing. I thought it was just the head and backpack, but the limbs are completely different to how they work on the G1.
Exactly. This is the thing. So I appreciate what they did with RC, because obviously the toy didn't exist, so they went back and they kind of, they made a toy out of what was the original prototype, right?
Yeah, but that was pretty faithful to the prototype. Yeah. Really.
Yeah. But apart from that, we're not asking for new toys, are we? We're asking for toys that look pretty much exactly like they did. Like I've got Missing Link Ultra Magnus. He's come through. Absolutely amazing toy. I'm just going to bring him up here just for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And he's got all, your modern articulation and stuff. But if I, stood him like a block, pop those legs back together again, it would look like the G1 toy. This Ironhide, completely different concept.
So to my eye, and obviously I'm not 7 years old and I don't remember the original series, so pinch of salt on this. But this to me feels like it's somewhere between original toy and original cartoon. And I've always read the Missing Link stuff as kind of, if we were making the toys, and ultimately the toys we were making are the toys that the kids in the 80s had in their mind. The kind of the implication of, this is what I thought I was playing with. This is almost what I remember, because you fill in those sort of gaps. I didn't realise there was this much sort of divisiveness around these. This is really interesting to me.
Yeah. My imagination wasn't that good as a child.
No, I think you're onto something, Matt, a little bit, because like it really doesn't matter, because it is just a collectible toy. It's not something we're going to lose sleep over. But a proper compromise would have, because it's supposed to come with the original G1 toy. You took the back off and it unfolded into like a sled, which made it into the comic books as a feature. And a real compromise would have been to have a head that unfolds from the sled. Put the sled on the back of the robot. You've got your complete, G1 anime style Ironhide if you wanted. But actually, people were hoping for the toy they used to play with, but with better arms and better legs and better options. And what they got was something they've never heard of before. So it's like, we're going to tap into your nostalgia, but we're also going to ignore your nostalgia. And it feels like the compromise or the departure is almost too far.
I think so.
Which is fine, but there are other toy lines that are that departure. There are other toy lines that look like the movie or the TV show. It's fine.
Yeah,
I mean,
I get
it is not a bad looking toy.
No, not at all. And in fact, the Ratchet colours do look quite tempting.
Yeah.
Is it missing Link anymore?
A friend of mine on the TFW boards has put his missing link up for sale. He said, if this is where they're going, I'm not following. Guys, you can have the rest of them. I'm not collecting this as a line anymore. Which is a drastic take.
That's very drastic.
But he's looked at it and said, I'm not going this path, and that's absolutely fine too.
Where would the fandom be without drastic takes?
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like I'm never going to buy Transformers again. He just went, oh, okay, that's where you've gone. Fair enough. And just leave it. And it happens all the time in fandom, doesn't it? And we go away from things come back. I think we're going to touch on that in Armada, to be honest. Cool. So Missing Link, Ironhide and Ratchet, very divisive, despite being very similar to what we always collect and what we always buy. Yeah. But also very exciting. New stuff. Things we haven't really seen before. The new Hot Wheels guys.
Yeah.
The new 3... it is 3, isn't it? 'Cause
Yeah.
They've redone Twin Mill, I think.
1 repaint and 2 new molds.
These are nice.
Yeah.
These are so nice.
Beautiful, right?
Yeah, pretty cool.
They feel like they come from a different era, which I suppose is the toys they're based on did come from a different era, but yeah, they just have a really nice, fresh vibe to them. I really like the look of a GT Scorcher, especially. I love that vehicle mode with the kind of
it's
chunky
so
body kit and things.
Yeah, it definitely comes from that kind of era where we're almost saying alt mode first. Let's focus on making a really cool looking car, and then it turns into a robot.
Yeah.
But also not compromising it. Like, there were some weird choices with the alternators, for example, that you would look at and go, that's fiddly as all get out, and I don't really like that. Or you might love the alternators, but you love the alternators usually it's the alt mode. But the Hot Wheels stuff, they're actually nice figures as well, and they don't have a lore or a character hanging off them. They're just a dude who looks like a Hot Wheels car.
I'm kind of thinking like like the old sort of Generations. Those kind of where you had the Sideswipe and Sunstreaker.
Well, I also don't really have any attachment to Hot Wheels.
Same.
So I don't actually know like why they chose these particular cars to do it off of, like why they might be big or whatever.
Yeah.
But they just look cool.
Yeah, exactly.
I think they're great. If I had the money, they'd be wonderful, because I love the kind of the sense with Transformers of there are more than just characters with names. I like the idea of sort of just background, like bots just sort of living their lives, extra soldiers or whatever, just filler basically. So I'd love to kind of have a bunch of them to fill out shelves and to use as a bit of cannon fodder, really. And I agree. I think they look great. It does feel a little bit like it's a sense of, well, there's no brief to fulfill here other than let's just have a little bit of fun.
Yeah.
Which is when Transformers does its best work, I think.
Yeah.
Not when it's trying to be, let's remind the 50-year-olds what they loved. It's when it's doing something new and interesting, I think. I haven't pre-ordered any of these, but I will be keeping an eye out for the one that you said, Dan, with the was it the GT
Scorcher?
GT Scorcher, yeah.
The body
kind of
kit,
rally car
it's such.
looking guy.
I mean, I love the Fast and Furious movies, and this is like if you did a crossover with Fast and Furious, this is what it would look like.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah.
I've actually been sat
Awesome.
in before the episode trying to work out how his weapon works. Like, I think it.
Oh, it's made of the spoiler, isn't
Yeah,
it, or
but
something?
I
Yeah.
think it folds in half, but then the handle of it just kind of disappears somewhere.
Oh, that's going to be fun finding out.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome. So talking about Transformers just having fun, Wild King are coming for my wallet personally. They have written, this is it's in Japanese, so you guys might not be able to read this, but it definitely says this is aimed at Jay to take his money. That's what it says on all the publicity, because it's freaking amazing. It's called Wild King WKWB, and it's like Zoids and Power Rangers had a Transformers baby. It's incredible. Have you guys seen this? The blue T-Rex thing?
I think his actual name is Energy Master Rex Blade.
Oh my god! It just gets better and
he's
better.
a T-Rex and he's a sword. See,
Yeah,
it's very cool. Like he's a triple changer, which I don't think any of the other big Wild King figures have been.
no.
He turns into a dinosaur and a quad bikey thing. People are saying he looks very like something from Mini-Force, which is, I think, in some way related to Metal Cardbot and from the same franchise as that. I can definitely see it. It does look very not like your kind of standard Transformers fare.
Like you can't westernize it. It's basically it's a 4-wheel drive vehicle that has a T-Rex head on it. It stands up as a robot or it turns into a T-Rex. And the picture I'm looking at, he's wearing an ice Timberwolf as an arm. And yeah, you couldn't sell that here with a coherent lore.
I think that's just cowardice. I think kids would love a dinosaur that turns into a quad bike and a robot.
I mean, if this is at Toy Fu in TF Nation, I'm not even. There'll be a blur, and then I'll have a big bag of this particular guy in it because he looks amazing, and I can't wait. I've got a soft spot for dinosaurs as well. He looks incredible.
I love all the combinations.
So cool. So it's like Combiner Wars. So the limbs are all like a standard size and shape. Phil, you gave a gesture, an expression.
I have no connection to that whatsoever. I remember people talking about it. I think I saw like one episode on YouTube, and I saw some other pictures, and it just kind of it has no value for me. I feel like we're opposite ends of the scale here. It doesn't look like the kind of Transformers I'm into. It looks like some sort of I think you said it looks like one of those sort of Mini-Force things. It's cool, but not my jam.
That's fine. I reckon this might be more your jam. Overgear Optimus Prime has had a painted reveal. Like we've seen the grey prototype, but now they've shown the colours for it.
Yeah.
The sandy desert colour, yeah.
Yeah, it's in beautiful, beautiful beige.
I mean,
there's two other Overgear figures you could put him with, so that's probably 400 quid by the time you've got all of those.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
You can have a shelf dedicated to them. I personally think they'd all go quite well with the reactivate stuff as well.
Oh, agreed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that.
Yeah, they've got that same kind of greebly feel to them.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, but bear with me, guys. I don't know what you think about this, but like this Optimus Prime, like Optimus Prime's normally your space dad, but this one looks like the dad who comes back from like serving overseas and immediately digs a bomb shelter in the back garden and runs the kids through nuclear strike drills every weekend. Like it's not Space Dad. It's not huggable, play basketball with Bumblebee Space Dad.
Optimus War Crimes.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's only a war crime if you get caught, Optimus. Yeah. I mean, it's got like a military bent to it, but it doesn't feel like you could take that head off and put another head on that, and it wouldn't feel out of place not being Optimus.
He could be a.
It feels almost Armored Core.
Yeah,
it does a bit. Yeah, he'd make a very good. Who's the guy from Bruticus?
Brawl?
No, the other one.
Swindle?
Onslaught.
No, the other one. Onslaught. He'd make a very good. I know Transformers names. I'm a real fan.
Superion!
You can guarantee
Yeah.
that conversation happens in universe. Just Transformers in the bar going, who's the guy from Bruticus?
If I don't know, if he was reasonably priced and he was readily available here, maybe I would pick him up, but it doesn't feel like Optimus Prime to me. It looks incredible. The detail is just above and beyond anything we get from Hasbro. The paint jobs and everything is just fantastic, so it's obviously going to be premium priced. But it's not Optimus Prime.
I don't know why, but his legs are giving me vibes of the that Space Rover Optimus Prime they did a few years ago.
Oh, no.
Because they're blue?
Well, I think it might be the exact shade of blue, but
Mm.
it's definitely giving vibes of that.
It's gorgeous, and I feel like if it was his traditional red and blue, it would feel more Optimus-y. But as it is,
No, it's the cannons.
No.
Sorry, go on.
No. I mean, I he's still got the chest windows. He's still got the grill ab, or at least something resembling a grill ab. There, he's just a little bit more tooled up. Like if he's I don't know, like peak Cybertronian war.
They should have given them a matrix of leadership, but it's just a Claymore mine.
Front towards enemy.
On the Matrix. Yeah, no, this is the thing. It feels almost violating of the character. Yeah.
It feels wrong universe to me. It feels a little bit like, I don't know if any of you ever saw the April Fool's joke they did for Titanfall, where Optimus Prime was in Titanfall. Which absolutely should have happened. It would have been incredible. But this feels a little bit like Optimus Prime has been dropped into like Front Mission or Armored Core or possibly even Titanfall. It's like all the kind of the realistic military ablative plating. It just, I think you lose the Optimus Prime vibe. This isn't Space Dad. This is I'll kill you all.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
This is give me your face, Prime.
I don't think it's even give me your face. It's I don't want to see that city anymore, Optimus Prime.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the only thing worse than this that's been done by media was the Iron Giant in Ready Player One.
Yep.
The noted giant pacifist who wouldn't fight anything being like their ultra weapon in the final battle, and it's just like, you didn't watch that properly, did you? It's just that kind of thing. He looks incredible.
It wasn't meant to be the Iron Giant, though. It was meant to be Ultraman.
Well, that's much better, obviously. Yeah.
Damn right.
I mean, if I see it and it's a good price and I like the look of it, maybe, but I mean, it just doesn't go with anything. But fun stuff that we could probably get behind. Skybound have announced, because it's the anniversary year, they are going to reprint the comic book adaptation of the Transformers the movie in a hardback edition. So that's going to be made available again. I'm just hoping. Go on.
Is this the Marvel adaptation or the IDW one they're reprinting?
What a great question. I had no idea there was multiples.
Yeah.
I'm going to quickly Google that.
There's even a
I
Dreamwave
only
adaptation.
know because I went to TF Wiki trying to figure out what this was.
Yeah.
Because initially I missed the reprint bit and thought it was an entirely new adaptation by Skybound.
Right, okay, so I don't know why this news cropped up today, because it's both, and it's from February, so I'm wondering if I'm going to leave this in the podcast now. It's the movie 1 to 3 from Marvel, and Transformers the Animated Movie 1 to 4 from IDW into one collection.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Maybe it was the hardback announcement is what they've sort of landed on, but that's quite interesting. So it's going to be both. They can't be side by side, can they? They're just going to have to read the movie twice in the same book?
Yeah, it's different styles, which is an odd choice.
Cool. I'm not interested in an adaptation of the movie unless they adapt the draft version where it had rails in it.
Oh, that would be beautiful. Like a brand new comic of that movie would be amazing. If you guys don't know what that is, Google TF Nation, Google Chris McFeely and his panel that he did on the original draft script for Transformers the movie. Justice for Rails, the campaign still goes on. We're going to get him. We're going to get him as a Studio Series toy.
Studio Series Titan.
Yes, that'd be amazing. Okay. I think that just about covers it for the news, except for one more thing, which I'm going to bring up. I really wanted to talk about this because I found out about this recently. We're not affiliated with them, but Transformers the Show is a YouTube channel. You guys probably know them better than you know us. They are going to be holding a 24-hour live stream marathon starting on Friday the 5th of June at 8 p.m. UK time. They're going to go through the night into Saturday to coincide with the end of a massive eBay auction, and all of the proceeds, all of the donations, all of the time is in aid of Mary's Meals, which is a fantastic charity that provides dinners to children who basically have to choose between going to school or working. And if they choose to go to school, often they can't afford a lunch when they get to school, so they have to make that choice. Mary's Meals is out there providing thousands, if not millions, of meals to these children, these young people, every single day, and it's an incredible charity. People have donated some amazing stuff, which is going to show up on their. It's going to be on their eBay. It's going to be on their socials. We've got golden blockies. We've got signed products from Greg Berger. Battersea Transformers shop are sending over a ton of stuff with their Titan on it, and all kinds of merchandise, all kind of products are going to be coming. So the auction opens on Saturday, 30th of May, and it closes on Saturday, the 6th of June. So if you guys can, I'll be checking in. I'll be giving Fans Trauma support at random points during the day. I don't know if I'll be there at 1 a.m., but I'm going to try. America's taking over once they cross midnight, sort of into the night. So Jim Sorensen's coming on to chat to the guys on stream. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be a fantastic 24 hours. So if you guys can get over there, give them your support, have a look at the eBay auctions. There's going to be some incredible stuff on there.
And what was that date
very
again,
exciting
Jay?
Times. That is Friday the 5th of June, 8 p.m, start of the stream, but the auction starts on Saturday the 30th of May, and will be closing on Saturday the 6th of June. So they're going to coincide the closing of the auction with the end of the stream to get an idea of how much money they've raised. So yeah, any support you can give, guys, that'd be fantastic.
Amazing.
So yeah, and good stuff, Transformers the Show. Thank you so much for doing this. It's absolutely incredible. Any support we can give, we would like to give to you. So I think that's it for the news. I think that about wraps it up. Let's, with trepidation, with nerves, with God, do I want to go back through this again? Let's head into Transformers Armada, which I'm going to hand over to Dan to introduce how he got into this show.
Yes. So obviously, myself and Matt as well, not being absolutely ancient, we didn't start with Generation 1 Transformers. We started with the Unicron Trilogy, and in particular Armada. And my introduction to Transformers when I was a young boy was I went to a friend's house on a play date, and in his toy box I discovered a toy that he told me was called a Transformer. This toy turned from a sports car into a robot. The robot even had a neat little visor that you could fold down over his eyes for a battle mode. And that toy was Power Rangers Turbo Robo Racer.
Damn it, you got me.
Regardless, I thought it was a Transformer and I was hooked. And we're in Woolworths, and I could see on the shelves this box with a little sports car in it, and label at the top read Transformers. I would grab my mum and said, I want it, I want it, I want it, I want it. And I absolutely had to have this toy. And that Transformer was R.I.D. Prowl. Anyway, to cut a long story short, by the time I actually convinced my mum to buy me a Transformers toy, R.I.D. had finished, Armada was in, and I got the Air Defence Minicon team instead. Nice. And that is the story of how Armada became my introduction to the world of Transformers.
Well, I've got to say, Dan, that was a slightly wandering story with 2 false starts, and it wandered down an alley that didn't really need to go, so it was perfect for Armada.
That's great.
Oh my God! So, what about you, Matthew? What's your early memories of Transformers Armada?
So my kind of early brushes with Transformers would have been probably with Beast Wars. because that was the show that was kind of running when I was very young. I was pretty hooked on that kind of early CGI animation. But I retroactively have sort of taken a side on the truck versus monkey argument. And I really kind of preferred when the next series I saw, which would have been 2001 RID, I really liked the kind of modern day aspect, I suppose. Like, hiding as animals was interesting, but also the animals aren't really going to accuse you of being a robot. Hiding amongst humans was good fun, but RID didn't quite gel with me. And then Armada just absolutely was the ticket. Possibly due to sort of it just being the show that was on when I woke up before school. So there was a real convenience aspect, but I absolutely sort of fell in love with it. Followed the Unicron Trilogy through. Loved all of it. I think the first toys we got were the Street Minicon team. So like some of the main characters from the show is Grinder, Shawshock, and Highwire. I seem to remember we had those toys for probably about a year before I realised that they combined into one figure. But
they did it in the show.
Well, yeah, but I was an idiot.
Did you just throw away the instructions as soon as you got it?
Almost certainly. Ignorance truly is bliss to children. Over sort of a year or so, my brother and I we had the who did we have? We had Demolisher. There we go, not Devastator. Demolisher, Cyclonus, and Hotshot. And a couple of like the Minicon teams. I think we had like one of the military ones, and we had the Star Saber. And I love the Minicon aspect, which shouldn't work with my obsessions with scale. But absolutely, yeah, love that sort of aspect of the show. Yeah, and I've rewatched the show recently to kind of prepare for this. I still maintain it holds up. I think, Dan, you'll probably agree with me that we're going to be far more forgiving of some of the issues with Armada, much in the same way that the older chaps in this group will be forgiving of the issues of the 1984 series.
Don't you take the Holy Trinity in vain there. That you can't, yeah. No. I'm rolling my sleeves up for the benefit of the podcast because we're going to get into this.
What you can't see, listeners, is how high up his trousers are at his age.
They can hear it. So for you guys, what is your abiding memory of the anime, of the cartoon? What's your take home? Because like for us oldies, the G1 cartoon has a certain special place. But for you guys, what does Armada mean, like general terms?
So
I'll let you go first, Dan.
When I was actually watching as a child, I don't think I ever got past episode 25 or so when Jetfire shows up. Whatever channel I was watching it on at that point, just decided to start doing reruns. But you know that was my Saturday morning cartoon, sitting down, waiting bored out of my skull for Stargate and Spinity to finish so I could actually watch Transformers. But yeah, so my memories are of the very episodic, Minicon of the Week early segment.
I mean, any particular sort of feelings or vibes from it? I mean, you obviously enjoyed it.
Yeah. I mean, mostly quite basic child stuff of, oh my god, Blur is cool. Honestly, I don't remember a lot from, my initial childhood period watching it. A lot of kind of what excited me about it was seeing the toys and owning the DK guide, I think it was. So there's a little guidebook, had all the toys in, had bios for all the characters, and I do just remember poring over that as a child.
Okay, so ancillary stuff, like things connected with the show, things that broadened the show's appeal.
Yeah, it wasn't until I was about 10, 11 when I kind of got access to the internet and kind of tracked down the whole series and watched it. And that's kind of obviously where I saw the rest of it and got into the good stuff of Starscream's arc, the actual Unicron battles, Prime, spoilers, dying and coming back to life. All that good stuff from the actual tail end of it.
Okay, so Matthew, you obviously did you watch it in the mornings as well?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I probably caught more of it. And for me, the massive, real sticking thing, it was so cool. It just was. Like, I obviously I'm the spaceship nerd kid, and when the series kind of gets past a certain point, they're traveling sort of to Cybertron, I think, in this gorgeous spaceship that I have taken a few screenshots of to figure out a scale reference for, and at some point I'm adding that to my little model ships. I thought the characters were great. There's a kind of a fascinating phenomenon of television of that era where a lot of voice acting was a really small profession. So all the kids' voices you recognised from other things, and something about that I found quite interesting as a kid. The guy who voices Carlos in particularly was in everything. And it was just so cool. It was different to sort of what I'd kind of encountered before. I like the kind of the vibes. I love the characterizations of everyone as well. Even like watching it recently, there's a lot of uncertainty around characters like Scavenger and come on, brain, do the thing.
Wheeljack?
The one that is actually yes, Wheeljack, 100%. No, the sideways. There we go. Yeah, this kind of sense of there's this ongoing conflict that is ultimately a little bit sort of fruitless. Nobody's going to win. The minicons kind of really not seeming to have their own kind of autonomy bothered me, I think. Because when they kind of all at the end decide, no, we don't want to be a part of this, that was really cool. And I know that's such a basic word, but 10-year-old Matthew is absolutely like, well, that's the word I've got. It was cool.
Yeah, it definitely, like, I mean, I will go into my notes at some point, but it has that late 90s, early 2000s radical. Everyone's got a skateboard or a dirt bike or
literally one of the main guys is called Rad.
Yeah. As I found out, like by like 2/3 of the way through, it's because his actual name is Bradley, and he didn't want to be called Brad, so he just took the B off. He is Rad. Which
why not?
But
Cybertron could absolutely be called Bert for short.
But back then, being Rad was cool to the max. That was what we wanted. That was how kids were. And to be fair, us who were, going into adulthood about the same time were just constantly taking the piss out of that because it was stuff like that. There was that kind of mentality as the surfer dude stuff. But yeah, you're not wrong. I will say, well, you are wrong in some ways, but not completely wrong. Phil, you had a go because we've both researched for this podcast.
Yes.
You had a go. How far did you get?
Okay, so I got one episode into watching Armada, which is absolutely atrocious. And then thankfully someone came to my rescue, completely unprompted, shared a link to the Micron Legends. Is that correct? The Japanese. To the Japanese version.
Yeah, the Japanese version of it.
So I switched over to that, and I've got to say, even from the first episode, I felt like it was a lot more tolerable.
But I didn't realise not only is Micron Legends dubbed, it's actually they fixed a lot of the animation mistakes and bits as well.
That I've heard, yes.
Here's the fact on this. Armada was rushed. It was actually because they had designed the toys. Toys were going to market. They said you've got till this point to deliver 53 episodes of a cartoon. So they pushed as hard as they could to make them do it. Back in Takara Land in Japan, they said, do you know what? Do you want another 4-6 months to work it out? And they said, we would love that. So they went back and they fixed rushed drawings, they fixed the script, they fixed so many things in it that basically Armada has never had the chance to do. So you have to approach it with that kind of, it wasn't its best that it could have been. It was G1 at its absolute worst, rushed kind of thing.
I'm not sure that, I mean, because the script is dire on the Armada version.
It is a masterpiece of literature.
Like
I do love knowing that, given that you only watched the first episode, you did catch the first misnaming, which is that the silhouette of Jetfire is immediately called Thrust, who winds up being a really important villain later on.
But that doesn't make sense until another, like you said, 20-something episodes, and then he turns up, and then it makes less sense than it did when you didn't know what it was.
Jetfire, and they get his name wrong.
I noticed even as late as the second to last episode, they were calling Overload Ultra Magnus. Ultra Magnus
okay.
isn't even remotely in it.
Can we talk about that? Because nobody knows what anybody is called, especially if you're a minicon. Every minicon is called Leader 1 at some point. Every single one. It obviously they had a translation team. I think it must have been written in Japanese first and then handed over to be translated into Western, and they had a go at translating some of the concepts and ideas. But often they just shorthanded stuff. So like the character of Fred is just obsessed with food. And that is his character trait. He doesn't have another character trait other than he likes eating.
And do you know what? I forgot how, like, all the kids are annoying, but Jesus Christ, they didn't give Fred like a single tolerable moment.
One. They gave him one.
Is it when he's saying Starscream super cool?
No. Okay, so I will
a weird
admit,
kid for it.
I'm genuinely concerned I have Stockholm Syndrome, because I, whilst doing other stuff, experienced all 53 episodes. And occasionally I would stop what I was doing, rewind what I was watching, and play it back and go, no, he did say that. Okay, that doesn't... And I'd write another little note on my Google Doc. But no, Fred has a moment where he appeals to Leader 1 as a friend. And Megatron sends him to kill Fred. He's on Megatron's shoulder, Leader 1. He says, go get him. And he jumps down to Megatron's feet. And Fred appeals to him and says, can't we be friends? And Leader 1 just stops and stares at him. And Megatron goes, oh, what's going on? Now, they're doing this standing by Megatron's toes, so I thought he would punt at least one of them into the distance. But he just shrugs and goes, oh, well, that didn't work, and walks away. But that's part and parcel. Because people do things in this show, and they say things that don't matter, or that they don't follow through, or that they don't care about, or that nobody else really cares about. That happens frequently. But I got a bit of Stockholm Syndrome because I actually cared about it by episode 53. Mm-hmm. Which is freaking... Save yourself, Phil. Don't do what
I won't. And I certainly won't be going down the Armada route. I mean, just from what you're saying there, like, most of his conversation in the Armada version was about how hungry he was, or whether they had another snack, or if you could go get some more food, or literally, and none of that is in the Japanese version at all. Maybe
his
a single line.
In episode 53 is, "Can we get some lunch?"
Yeah,
What while they're stood on
to judge
Unicron.
Fred? You don't know his life.
And I just there was another bit as well. Just compare the two again, and again, this is just going off the first episode, but from the sounds of things, it doesn't get better. Who is the female character? You've got the two. You got Alexis. Yeah, the first time you see her, she kind of passes them in the school. They have a bit of a conversation, and in the Armada version, there's a line which is something like, "Oh, what why is she always playing hard to get?" Right, these are kids. Right, I was like, okay, that's a bit of an odd choice. Japanese version, it's more about, oh yeah, she's studying to become class president, so she's too busy to hang out with us like when we were younger kids. That's great.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Yeah.
What? Honestly, just so infuriating.
And if Rad is anywhere interested romantically in Alexis, it never comes up again. It's never... There are so... Okay, so I will say, guys, Dan and Matt, you probably didn't notice this as kids watching it back in the day, but it managed to upset me with line 1 of episode 1. Light years ago.
I'm proud of it.
Light years ago on the planet of Cybertron. No! Light years is distance, not time. You're not Han Solo. You can't mess
How many
about with it
parsecs
like
is
that.
it?
Exactly. But I stuck with it because I wanted to find out what the appeal was, because some people love this show, and I wanted to see if it could work, but it's so patronizing. It's so dumb, and it's talking down to kids all the time. Matt, I don't think you started off as a dumb kid. I think Armada made you stupid.
So I think the reason it worked for me, and this is I think while you have developed Stockholm syndrome from watching it, I think the problem is going into Armada, I was already very much broken by other television of the time. I cannot recommend enough. There's a great YouTuber called Billiam who talks about this at length and points out so many problems. But the original series of Digimon, of which I am still an enormous fan, has the animation budget of a Milky Bar advert. It's so bad, to the point that characters in the show joke about it. When they have one of those still images in the middle of a fight scene, a character randomly says, "Oh, it's like time standing still here for some reason." Mm-hmm. They actively joke about the the show, and it is categorically bad. Does that stop me? God's no. I love that whole franchise still massively. And the kind of definitely the problems with translation. I think you're right. I think it's gone through the ringer once, and there is a weird sense of the original Pokemon series is probably the biggest example of this. And there's so many things that translators, when it came to writing for a Western audience, just kind of went, kids aren't going to understand this. And I'm kind of going, right. The fact that in the original Pokemon you've changed every rice ball to jelly donut is so mind-numbingly insulting, because a rice ball, in its name, tells you precisely what it is. There is no room at all to misinterpret rice ball. No matter how daft you are, you can figure out ball of rice. Calling it a jelly donut is wildly upsetting because it's clearly not. I think as a small child, I had this notion in my head that jam donuts were typically covered in desiccated coconut because that was the only thing that made sense. And even as a small child, apparently I was headcanoning. So going into Armada, I was prepared for tricks of animation. I was prepared for cheap animation. I was prepared for voice lines that didn't really fit what was going on screen. I was okay with all of that. But I come back to it, it was flipping cool. Yeah. Everything was forgiven.
Okay.
I wasn't prepared, but being a stupid child, I didn't notice. I think I just had a vague sense of confusion through my first watch, and a vague sense of confusion through my second watch, and having just done the best bits in the lead up to this episode, I'm still vaguely confused. But that's what TV Tropes is for.
Yeah. I think what would be great is if somebody could do an abridged version for us oldies, so we don't have to waste our precious remaining years wading through 53 episodes. I'll just go through some of my notes here that I made as I was watching all the episodes. We can draw beautiful transformations. We can model the toys, so you can learn how to transform the toys from the cartoon. That's gorgeous, and we will reuse that stock footage again and again. What we struggle to draw is duck and cover, and aiming. You hold the gun, you point it forwards, you hope to God it's pointing at the person you're trying to shoot, while that person stands very still and gets hit. And that is how a Transformers fight happens. And it was just
That's just not true, Jay. Sometimes a Transformers fight is them standing in front of each other and holding hands.
Yes, yeah.
I think you'll find Gears of War is actually where cover was invented, and that was in 2006. So before that, I know it's surprising, but before that, people did just stand in fields and shoot
in one direction at one angle. Just constantly.
Yeah. Not necessarily at the enemy, no.
Oh, how many times in the series does Starscream forget that he's a jet? Because he falls off a great deal of things.
Yes.
And hits the ground.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a bit where he's hanging off like an icy cliff, and he's hanging on for dear life, and it's like, you're a plane. Just
that happens more than once, Phil. Okay, so there's a wonderful bit. So the character of Wheeljack is a great idea. This idea, and for people like Phil who haven't seen it, there's an Autobot. He is trapped by a fire. Hotshot promises to get help, and Hotshot is prevented from getting this help. So Wheeljack spends his life thinking Hotshot abandoned him. That's a great storyline. Now Wheeljack tells this story of what happened to him to Hotshot to explain why his Autobot badge is destroyed and he's wearing a Decepticon badge. At the end of this story with flashbacks, Hotshot looks at Wheeljack and goes, "But why, Wheeljack? Why?" It's like, just spent 10 minutes explaining. It was like the scene in Zoolander.
Yes!
Why male models?
Why male models?
That's
all I could picture.
Go on.
He does not display a Decepticon badge.
Yes, he does.
I don't. He
Itty
does.
bitty
He has
one.
the Autobot one with the slash through it.
And he's got an itty-bitty Decepticon badge underneath.
Oh, all right. Well, I
Yeah.
wasn't paying attention to that, apparently.
Are you even a real Armada fan, Matt? Come on.
No, I'm pretty sure we identified earlier. I'm an idiot.
Okay, guys, spoiler alert. Optimus Prime dies.
No.
He stands still in front of too many lasers and dies
No.
standing still in front of a laser.
No, before he does that, Jay, he says he has a cunning plan to defeat the Decepticon superweapon, and it turns out the cunning plan is to stand in front of it and die.
Yes. This is not an exaggeration.
It's the last thing they would have expected.
Which, to be fair,
Well,
is the
absolutely.
most Optimus thing possible.
And while they're mourning, Jetfire puts a hand on Hotshot's shoulder and says, "I'm fairly sure Optimus would choose you as the next commander, Hotshot." To which my response was, would he? Why? Was he mad?
Given that
Hotshot?
Optimus left Jetfire, admittedly, Optimus got his name wrong, so Optimus might be senile. But Optimus left Jetfire in charge when he
I
left.
think they're all senile. Sudden overload is sudden.
Honestly, I went back to try and figure out when he's like identified, and they literally just suddenly Optimus jumps out of a spaceship and he's there, and I don't actually know, does he ever get any lines?
No.
Because he's definitely there in bot mode once or twice, kind of standing in the crowd, but that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So he never says anything. There isn't a character. He's just the arse end of Optimus's trailer.
Yeah.
And then he's shoulder guns.
I
These
like
shoulder
it.
guns that have hands.
I like it when Optimus decides he's going to combine with both Jetfire and Overload just to give a speech.
Yeah. And sometimes he combines with Jetfire, and then when you next see him, he's not combined with Jetfire, he's normal Optimus, because we forgot to draw Jetfire on.
That's the episode that introduces Overload, actually. Megatron is combined with Tidal Wave for the entire episode, and then the fight starts, and he combines with Tidal Wave.
Yeah. Yep.
It's very, just as I reached it, and the whole way through I was thinking, have I missed something? And it's no.
So
just there.
There is a plot point towards the end where Hotshot is determined to speak to Galvatron to get him to join forces to defeat Unicron. And his plan is to sneak into the base. And somebody, whose name I didn't write down who said it, says, "Hotshot's smart enough to look after himself." He is not. He gets shot at by every single Decepticon on every single part of the base until he collapses in front of Wheeljack, and Wheeljack goes, "Oh, we should probably take him in to speak to Galvatron." His plan was very Optimus-like. It was to get shot.
That's why Optimus thought he was the great model of the next leader.
I taught him everything I know. There's one where they forget to draw Sure Shock. That's the little scootery robot minicon, isn't it?
Yes.
Yep.
They forget to draw it.
Yes, when Alexis is sitting on him. In the air, hands in the air, and they've forgotten to draw a
Has he
scooter
not
underneath
got
her.
a cloaking mode?
Well, that's it. It was a cloaking mode, clearly.
There you go.
Makes
And
sense.
and I've also written down here the last thing, because it happens all the time. We can't afford perspective in this show. So if you walk towards something, you will never reach it. It's like Monty Python and the Holy Grail charging at the castle. And yet we hit episode 53, where all the money went, where all the drawing went, where all of the art went into Phil, treat yourself. Put on episode 53 of Armada.
I'll skip
Because-
to it.
Treat yourself is pretty
Just
strong.
put on the fight between Optimus and Galvatron.
It's beautiful. It's gorgeous.
It's still one of the greatest fights in all of Transformers, I think. It's just an all-out slugfest.
It's fantastic. It is absolutely amazing, and it has actual consequence. And it has actual like somebody choreographed it, and they're not. And it proves that Optimus can duck. You know, it's like it's so aggravating.
Plot twist.
He learned that while he was dead.
Yes, absolutely. That was his power when he came back from the dead. Was he had
Is he dead?
perspective.
Because his body gets like shattered, but then like what's his name? Sparkplug. Sparkplug like keeps a little chunk of him inside the Matrix,
He does,
and then he like reforms from that.
What's that 80s movie with the boombox? What's the one where they
John
goes
Cusack.
outside?
Sorry, could you be a bit more vague?
No, it's
The
John Cusack.
goes
holding it
outside.
up.
John Cusack holding up the boombox.
Say anything?
I don't know.
Yes.
It's that C. So
That's in my head,
Sparkplug
so
does
yeah.
a John Cusack. He holds the Matrix up in the air like a boombox, like "Come back to me, Optimus! Come back to me!" in the middle of space.
Yes. I hadn't made that connection, but you're absolutely right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, he can talk. I hate that because all the minicons talk by just beeping, but there's a bit where he just straight up talks to everyone and then doesn't do it again.
Yeah, well,
I'm still upset about this.
they all start talking towards the end, don't they?
Yeah, in the creepiest voice.
Yeah, the most.
Rad. Oh, I hate this. Oh, stop it. Go back to beeping.
Destroy Unicron.
Oh. Why? Why is it so weird?
And it turns out one of the minicons who has been utterly useless for 52 episodes turns out to be Doctor Who.
What?
I'm assuming we mean Highwire, do we?
There's a bootstrap paradox, Phil. There's a whole thing where there's a time loop that ensures that the right things happen so that we can have the time loop so we can make sure the right things happen. And it's a perfect circle, and it only happens because in one episode they go, "Oh, by the way, I can travel in time." They don't even say that. At the end of the episode, Rad says, "And somehow the Minicon's incredible power allowed us to travel in time."
Somehow Palpatine.
Don't worry.
returned,
Don't worry.
basically.
Don't worry. It will not be explained.
No.
Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
But it like doesn't Rad sort of say like, "Oh, it's weird. I feel like I've known him for a long time," like right at the beginning.
Yeah.
And Alexis is like, "How is that possible? We've just met them." And it's like, all right.
I'll tell you what, it
Apparently
would be
we're coming back to this.
hilarious if they did an Armada remaster and that episode just has Vector Prime popping up out of nowhere just to do that
Do
and
it.
then fucking straight off.
Yeah.
I want a whole series of Vector Prime repeatedly messing up the timeline, explaining every different version of Transformers we've had.
Yes. So objectively, like critically, artistically, it is not a good anime cartoon.
No, it is
Wrong.
an excellent anime cartoon.
But
Damn right.
It is a masterpiece of
I
animation.
can't agree with you. I cannot agree with you. But
Nostalgia's doing a lot of lifting here.
But for some reason, I cared at the end. Like, Cyclonus has this moment where he's being chased by 1,000 evil death-dealing drones and he's laughing hysterically, and I'm laughing with him because that's a funny moment. And somebody sacrifices themselves for some reason, and that matters, and how they feel about the minicons. And I'm like, what has happened? It is proper Stockholm Syndrome. I've been with them long enough that now for some reason I care. Except then Fred whinges he's hungry and the spell gets broken.
And Jay's heart grew 3 times that day.
Which is medically not good.
No, real bad. I agree with the kind of the reduction of poor Fred. I do like that they have the kind of the bully kids to hero characters pipeline. That's
And
always
they
going to be
do
a nice
nothing
little thing, I think.
afterwards.
Yeah, but you know, Bulk and Skull didn't get that in Power Rangers. They just stayed kind of mean until they went into space. I think I can't really remember.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say I enjoyed it, but I got into it by the end, and then it was over. And episode 53 was like, hey, here's what it could have been.
It's a
But
very,
here's the beauty.
It's a very rear-loaded show.
Yes,
Like,
but the absolute beauty of Armada is it's 53 episodes and it's not over. There's 2 more series in what they call a trilogy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all loaded at the end. because it gets much worse for a whole series because the Energon is bad, and that's through the rose-colored glasses. It's bad. And then Cybertron's great, but is also categorically not properly connected to the other two. But who cares? I'm still having a good time.
Fair assessment.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say... I mean, it's obviously it has succeeded in some way, because you guys have still got that nostalgia burning inside that is calling you back to it. It doesn't hook new people. It doesn't grab people the way you could put like a 4-year-old in front of G1 and let them enjoy G1. You could maybe try it with Armada, but you'd need to... I don't know if it would work as well. I feel like it just doesn't have the same heart, the same soul as the original. I'm saying this to a parent of young children here.
Yeah.
But did it do its job? Did it sell the toys?
I believe it did fantastically well selling the toys. From what I can remember, is this where because they sold a lot of toys for Armada to the point that they had to start recoloring like Beast Wars toys to sell as like extra characters or something like that.
Yes, that's correct.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it did great with kids, and a core memory for me is standing in a Woolworths, staring at Armada Optimus Prime, knowing that I was not anywhere near Christmas or my birthday, and it was not going to happen. Which is why, now that the Legacy one's out and I've got him on my shelf, like my inner child is chuffed. He's having a great time. That Jetfire that's coming out, I'm going to have to get it. I am still furious that I bought Nemesis Prime because I needed that sword. There's no part of me, inner child or not, that can justify 70 quid for a sword.
Well,
here I am.
Nemesis Prime was one of the standout characters, though.
I'm apoplectic. He gets like an episode. He's basically, for no reason whatsoever, he's Transformers Venom. He makes a hell of an impression.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sorry, I said standout here. Sorry, what I meant was he's the only new thing in that entire episode. But
the other new thing in that episode is Overload.
Oh yeah,
and it will
good
not
point.
be explained.
No. Well, neither was Nemesis Prime, so that's fine. But the toys are there, and the toys are looking like they're dipping back into the well of Armada. What was it like getting them the first time? Because you've mentioned some of your first Transformers toys were the Minicons, because that seems like such a clever collecting idea. Phil, you've got Minicons, haven't you?
Oh yeah. I mean, going back to where I was when Armada came out, I'd kind of taken a bit of a break from Transformers. The whole Beast Wars things just really didn't jive with me. And of course, then we had Car Robots, RID, when that came out, and that really got me back into Transformers again. But then it sort of, it was there, and it sort of disappeared off the shelves quite quickly. And then Armada arrived, and Armada arrived at a kind of a key point in time in my life, because that was when I was working at Hamleys. Those of you who don't know, Hamleys is like a massive flagship store in central London. And, great thing about working in a toy store is you get staff discount, you're surrounded by these things all the time. So, watching all the Armada toys kind of flood onto the shelves, even though I don't even know what channel the cartoon was on. Completely passing by. I was
on something weird in the UK.
Yeah, but I probably would have aged out of it anyway. Like this is post uni for me. But then I started seeing the toys, and I have large chunks of Wave 1, including all of the guys in their requisite Minicons. I was saying just in the little gap that we had when we weren't recording, I was just talking to the guys, and randomly I still have the 3 kind of main Minicons, but they're still in package. So I have Grinder, Highwire, and Short Shot. I never opened it. I just bought it never opened it. Kind of, I don't know if I was waiting for a rainy day or if I was just so, because having not seen the cartoon, just didn't have that kind of attachment. And I'd obviously just bought them and gone, I don't know if I like these. So they're still sealed in package. And Matthew says these are fetching a decent price. So I might need to look into that for some post
I
pre
think you should.
TFN monies.
I think you should open them on stream and just shatter the hopes of loads of Armada collectors. That could be the last in-box Street Minicon team.
Yeah. I just like
I
just
think it's
open
fair to
them
say
and
that-
amazing.
just eat one of them on
I think
I think it's fair
Grindor
to
would
say
go
that
down
the
easiest.
designs- Oh yeah, easiest to swallow, absolutely.
And I think Minicons really were the master stroke.
yes.
Certainly when I
Yeah,
was a
brilliant.
kid, I had 3 of the bigger guys in total, I think. I think I had Blur, Demolisher and Starscream. But the Minicons, £6 for a pack of 3. You know, I think any kid's going to spend their money on that.
I do love like with the Seekers as well, the older recolors, and I love in the series when Starscream gets his little upgrade from the Minicons. In that same episode, actually, Puppet, the one with Nemesis, where he immediately sort of goes, "I look like Thundercracker." Like, I love that the notion that Thundercracker exists in this universe, and now you just happen to look like him. Why not?
Yeah.
I think in general, the toys for Armada, they came in with such a different style compared to RID, compared to G1. Like, there was such a sort of a chunky feel to all of the vehicle designs. And I still love that kind of presence that they have. Losing the windows on Optimus Prime, I think, was a bit of a dicey move, but I really think it paid off.
I'd
Even if
agree.
no one can find a grill.
His design is so interesting to look at. I do want to kind of talk about that. Did either of you own Optimus Prime as a young person?
No.
Phil, have you got an Armada Optimus in your
I
collection?
do indeed. Yeah. I've got his automorphing gimmick no longer is conked out years ago, so he definitely doesn't hold up to that kind of sorry, he won't hold his resale value. Is what I'm trying to say.
Last
Yeah.
time I checked, mine still works, and it is hilarious to watch. Just the slowest standing up base ever.
Takes longer than the cartoon animation would have you believe.
Yeah, you can't do it in time to the theme music.
No.
What the ending says.
But so I've in preparation for this podcast, I thought I'd try and experience some Armada toys. So I've been on eBay, I've been on Vinted, and let me tell you, the price range is crazy. I ended up.
Don't blame the podcast. Don't blame us. You wanted them.
No, I wanted to find out what they were like.
Yeah.
I wanted to experience them. So I got like
You
the
love them.
cheapest.
That's not what you wanted. You wanted to
No,
buy them.
I want to own them. I want to be able to do what I want with them, because at the moment I've now got a project, because I've got an Armada Optimus that needs soldering, he needs redoing, he's got a backwards arm, but in trying to like figure out what was wrong with him and taking him apart, I was fascinated by how intricate he is. Tiny thin wires running through his arm. There are movable contacts, so you can move his arm and maintain the electronics. It is so brilliantly designed. It does not survive contact with a child. There is no way. Like it's ruined. It is missing all the important bits. Nothing stays together. And the phrase that came to mind for this is that its ambition far overreaches its ability.
I don't think it fell short. I think they achieved exactly what they were trying to do. They weren't interested in articulation. They weren't interested in longevity. They wanted something that could sell toys, and
it did.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, as a kid, I was gazing at them thinking, "Oh my god, he can do that and that. The Minicon can sit in a seat in him and do the missiles, and plug into the front and be launched out." Every single figure has probably at least 3 gimmicks to it.
Yeah.
With like a couple of exceptions. And
I think you look at toys of that time in general, and across the whole of the toy industry, there was such a kind of a movement of video games are at a point where they're so easy to get a hold of, they're so decent. Arcade has kind of just died out because home gaming has replaced it. Toys had to really push to compete. And yeah, I think I agree with you, Jay. The electronics and stuff are not going to survive kids of the age. The mini-cons was flipping genius.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I am so disappointed that the legacy versions of these figures coming out now do not have, for the most part, do not have that option.
Mm-hmm.
I've said, like, I really want Overlord to come out with the Skyboom shield. We're getting Jetfire with the Requiem blaster. I love that there's some of them. But for those of you in this group who have full collections of minicons, if you have spares, tell me. I may well be coming and having a word and saying, right, I want to add some of these to my collection again, because the minicons were absolutely the ticket.
so yeah, when people think of the minicon gimmick, they think of the kind of standard, you plug it into the port and it activates a gimmick. It wasn't just that. Like they had minicons doing headmasters, they had them acting as target masters. They interacted with Optimus Prime's base. You had ones that could sit in seats on the bigger figures, ones that could launch themselves off of ramps and things. I think they did everything it's possible to do with a little robot in this line, as well as it plugged onto ports on the bigger figures and activated the flip-out weapons or spinning power fists or whatever.
Yeah.
And then sadly, then speaking to Jay's point about not surviving kids, they all got lost, and now all the figures are on eBay with bits missing, and the minicons are all missing, and it's such a shame. Which is why I really want Hasbro to bring them back in some way. I'm so pleased I've got Jolt, because the modern one looks great.
What's interesting though is that like you were saying, like the difference, trying to collect it again, going back and finding this stuff vintage, having those bits is the difference of another 0 on the end of the price.
Tell me
it's
more.
Quite astonishing. Like, well, Phil, I can't believe when you hold up that sealed one. Like there is. You may never have to work again. Honestly, it's quite incredible. Like seriously, people.
Phil, they're actually worth nothing. I'll take them off your hands. I'll do you a favour. Don't worry.
Yeah, we'll get rid of that for you. Yeah, we'll give you a tenner for them.
Okay.
Yeah, they're quite amazing, and I love them. I love the vibe of them. I love the fact that they're going. It doesn't pose. It doesn't articulate. The legs don't move. There are no knees, but it does this cool thing instead. And I feel like with that we could go back to that.
No. And here's why. So I'm coming at this from a slightly different angle to your boys here, because of, I came up with G1, and then as I said, RID was a big thing for me, and those figures were, not only you got those beautiful alt modes, particularly the Car brothers, but they were very complex in their transformations, but they were super articulated. So for me to go from that to what Armada was, and Armada is all about the gimmicks, and when it owns that, it is incredible. Absolutely, I do love what they've done there. And just to go on to kind of what Dan was saying, it is amazing actually. Just looking at, you've got Hot Shot there, and the way the Jolt connects onto the back there, and then you've got the engine with those flick up bits, and then you've got the Axel Zuka that pops out. I mean, how many different gimmicks have been sort of piled into a figure of that size? It's incredible. Same with Megatron. You've got all these extra little flaps, things that pull out. He's got his little minicon operated shank which comes out. RIP to that in the new figure. But you lose. That is traded. You've traded articulation for that. And I think as collectors, we've kind of been spoiled by that. Now it's not enough to have, shoulder connections. Jay, you were asking about the shoulder third-party upgrades for the legacy Armada Megatron, and this is the kind of level that we're at. It's like, he can't move his shoulder pauldrons. This is ridiculous. Like his arms can still go up and down and out to the side. But
I have a counterpoint.
Well,
who needs leg articulation when your robot can walk along on its own with genuine stomping action?
But I'm afraid to say, Dan, most people, that kind of self-propelled, like the old Triptychon, used to do as well. Cool back in the day, but nowadays it's all about people go mad if you don't have ankle tilts on a robot.
Yeah. Nowadays the game's done changed.
Yes, well,
it does feel like a good argument for the people who are fans of G1. Like, I get that people who are fans of G1 are going to say, well, my knees don't work very well, but I can still do cool stuff. Like, fair enough. But, as younger guys, we maybe we want to see real sort of posable figures. And I do think, with sort of modern engineering, you can get the gimmicks and the posability. I stand by that Legacy Optimus, Legacy Armada Optimus. There's my inner child and my adult, who's just a nerd for kind of how the figure works, are both very happy.
I would agree. It is feasible that we could, have the modern articulation. We've got the engineering, without losing the gimmicks. But I guess the fact is, it's just a commercial thing. It's a budget thing, and unfortunately, some things do get cut, which means that now we've got a new Red Alert, and he's cool, and he's like super posable, and he's got all articulation, but there's no chest disc anymore. There's no spring-loaded missile launcher on the back there, and most importantly, there's no no
Which is
sound
interesting because,
chips.
like you said, Armada's not bringing in new fans, so it feels like you could jock the price a little bit on these, because that the people who you're really aiming this at are idiots like me and Dan.
And then I guess it sort of pushes it northwards into more of sort of collector territory then. And
I wonder if there is a bit of a fallacy amongst Transformers fans and collectors like us about how much of the market we make up. Because I don't think we make as much of it as we think we do. I think we certainly pre-order lots. We take all of SAFs and all of IDTs and all of Kapow stock before they can get anywhere. But your Smiths and your Amazons and your big places are not relying on people like us to sell these toys. They're relying on kids going, that car looks cool, I would like that. Which is why windowed boxes are so important. It's why playability is so important. And I think toys that stomp, toys that make noise, toys that fire things, toys that have lights and sounds and gimmicks would appeal more to kids than a toy that looks fantastic under the right lighting, dramatically pointing into the distance. Do you know what I mean? No, Phil, I love your photography. I think there's room for both. But I also look at. I got this guy. I got Treadbolt. So I say guy. It's a girl, and I got her because I was looking for Armada toys on Vinted on an eBay, and she came up beautifully priced, and she's complete except for a minicon and a missile. And she's from Energon, but she's the scavenger mold, and her gimmick is there's a drum as part of the alt mode, and it connects to the legs, and as you roll her along, she stomps up and down. But also the hands, when they move, they make crash and bash noises, and when you put a minicon in the cab, that makes us an engine startup noise, and when you transform her into her alt mode and push her along, she makes bulldozer noises. And
great for making parents extremely angry.
Absolutely. If you buy a noisy present, buy it for a nephew or a niece who you don't have to spend time in the house with. But I feel like that compared to it's got double jointed knees and an ankle tilt. You know what I mean? It's like, what is the 6-year-old going to enjoy? Well, obviously they're going to enjoy an iPad more, but I feel like something like this, if you brought this back, would capture a few more hearts, a few more minds.
I feel like we're talking about the difference between, you know, the cyber world toys. You know, for instance, I'm thinking about that huge Scorponok
Oh yeah.
that was going on about. Absolutely fits that kind of criteria. It's fun. It's like, you know, there's lots of little gimmicks going on. His arm can come off and it's got a big blade and awesome. And then, but you know, again, no articulation. And then you've got like the mainline stuff, which, you know, like you said, it would be good, you know, if a kid does go along and go, oh, I like the look of that car or that robot, I want to buy that. But it is still clearly aimed at the older generation. You know, this is why they keep churning out G1 toys, because that is what sells.
The minimum age on a Titan is 15 on the box. It says 15 plus on the Titan boxes. You're absolutely right.
So weird.
And we're not going to get that back. We're not going to get that era of toys back. But I'm enjoying discovering them. I think they're fantastic. I think they're better than the show they came from.
Yeah, and just to say, I'm not saying that's not what the toy should be. Hell, you know, I would love to see, you know, a new series come out, a well thought out series where it's just something fresh, something fun. New designs, whatever, you know, have at it. Come on, guys. But
which in many ways Armada was.
That's where the money is.
Armada was that fresh start.
It's a fresh take.
Guys, do you have any thoughts on best and worst Armada toys? And I'm including Legacy and Age of the Primes in that as well.
I think you would be hard pressed to disagree that Unicron is probably up there with best.
Ooh.
Because that was incredible. Such a statement.
It's an incredible toy.
I still don't fully identify it as an Armada toy. I think just as a child it was so far out of what I had like any ability to afford that it just didn't happen. So
yeah. I'd actually left Hamleys by the time that came along. I had to get thankfully I passed the torch on to my younger brother who was at Hamleys, and I got him to use his staff discount and tuck that one away in the storeroom for me when I came back.
But for me, and this is, you know, partially nostalgia driven, it's Armada Starscream. You know, has a nice gimmick in the flip forward cannons, looks cool in both modes, has a fucking sword. I think the only thing he's missing is neck and waist articulation, and then he'd be perfect. But now we have a Legacy figure for that, so he is perfect.
I really like the Legacy figure. I got him because it's the Starscream from the IDW comics when he's going through different body types. So he's on my IDW shelf, but I really love the interesting design, and the flip up cannons are fun to play with, and it's very cool. Phil, with your extensive collection of the ones you have opened, have you got any favourites?
I would say I think Red Alert. Honestly, both versions, the modern one and the original version, still stand up. You know, by Armada standards, he's actually pretty well articulated. He's got decent posability to him. Still holds up as a as a solid, chunky vehicle. All his little gimmicks are just spot on. Really great Minicon integration. And just lots of play value. So he's definitely the winner.
I'll never understand why the medic looks like RoboCop, but I'll never question it. Because again, I've said it several times, flipping cool.
He's seen things, man. He wasn't always the medic.
Oh my god. Okay, so I'm going to ask your opinion on the worst one, but the caveat is you're not allowed to say Sideswipe.
Sideswipe is amazing. So, I actually like Sideswipe because in spite of him looking like an absolutely awkward sod, he does capture what Armada is all about, and just has some really quite cool gimmicks. Especially, I love the Minicon just flipping out the back.
He's entirely gimmick at the sacrifice of the robot, though, isn't he? He's a very cool alt mode, and then he's a very cool gimmicky thing, and then what you get out of it is just junk. And he should at least have a sound chip that says "bro."
Bro.
Okay, so sideswipe excluded. What's your worst experience of an Armada toy?
So worst for me is actually Wheeljack.
Yeah.
And that's because he's boring. He's I think possibly the only Armada thing that has only one gimmick, and that's his doors split up. And yet he still has the Armada general awkwardness. For some reason his shoulders don't have enough clearance to actually move past his chest, in spite of clearly intending to do so. And there's nothing to show for it.
A bit of a damp squib, sounds like.
Yeah.
Matt?
Literally, I got him for completion's sake.
Oh, wow.
Well, obviously the worst one is Sideswipe, but you've taken that away from me. He's so awful, and the legs, they never draw the legs that way in the show. For very good reason. I desperately want them to do a legacy one of him and do him some justice.
A legacy one?
Oh, how dare you. But actually, and I this is going to be a slightly controversial one. The one that is the worst for me is only the worst because of his limitations, but categorically he's very much accurate to the way he is in the show, so it's fine. But it's Demolisher.
I'm going to fight you, Matt.
He's so stunted in what he can do. He's so awkward in the way you would actually pose him. And I remember as a kid, like, folding his legs out and being like, "They're so
He has an artillery base mode. He's a triple changer.
I know. He's such a basic
flip
boy.
out seat. Oh.
He's got a flip out seat. He can fire his minicon out of the front.
Oh, everything about him is he's just a little bit lame. But that so is the charm of his character. That's
his
so
arms
who
and
he
guns.
is. The fact that he can, like, he almost moves like a Roblox character. Like, that's what he can do. And that's okay. And I love that it fits the way he is as a character. I love that it fits his, like, even in, like, his very stringent kind of, like, everything he does is for Megatron. Everything he does. He's so basic. He is the soldier. And I think it's reflected in the toy, which I think categorically means the toy moves a little bit boring. If I've got a figure that's as big as he is, he should have slightly more articulation than a Lego man.
Oof. Right. Okay.
I'm sorry. I Demolisher. I love him. I do.
thought we were friends, Matt.
Okay. So talking about lacking articulation, I've got to say my vote has got to go for Optimus's super mode.
Ooh.
Once you like the core
Phil
figure,
pissing off everyone else here.
he's pretty awesome. But as soon as
Phil's not wrong.
then flaps come down.
He's not wrong.
And he's like, he looks great. He's literally, I mean, this is the reason why he doesn't dive out the way when he's being shot at. His legs are just a block. There's a single block, and there's no articulation. There's no movement. He can't move sideways. He can't.
It would be hilarious if he just stood stock still in the cartoon whenever he was in super mode.
He does.
I've noticed that
he does, but he has knees in the cartoon.
Not quite, like, because the articulation on him, you're right, there's none. So when he goes into super mode, even the animation when it shows him going into super mode, you can see the way it clips together that he can't move. I was watching it, and there's a bit when he, like, turns to someone, he moves like a Dalek.
Yes,
because that's the only option. It's the only thing he can do.
Yeah.
Can he go upstairs though?
Phil, you stole mine because obviously my awareness of this is quite limited. I have a couple of the legacies. I've just ordered, because I found it cheap, Legacy Armada Galvatron, so I'm looking forward to trying that out.
Nice.
But apart from Legacy
yes,
Starscream...
thanks for that tip. I've just ordered the same one.
Hey, fantastic.
The enablement is strong.
Delivery?
Yeah, well, let's not get into that. But yeah, I've got to agree with Phil. Armada Optimus is really disappointing. Like he's all gimmick and no style. Like I don't necessarily know if I need him to have like if I was 6 years old and playing with it, I wouldn't need him to have legs. I'd just move him about the place and pretend. My original Optimus had knees, but he couldn't move his legs forward, and at the slightest provocation he'd snap upwards and turn into a truck.
Same.
But I feel like they went, okay, this Optimus will do everything, and in doing that, he really doesn't do anything. He's an infrared remote control for the trailer, which is where all of the fun is, and then he's got like a light and a pop-up head, and there we kind of stop. He's gappy. He's got huge space between his shoulders and his neck, which should be on mine filled in with trailer bits, but aren't. And yeah, you're right. He reminded me instantly when I put him together in super mode. It was like, this is a Dalek, and every single piece on him is designed to be lost and swallowed and like put under the sofa and things like that. So you look at it and you're like, it should be the dramatic leader, and what it is it's a guy who's already falling apart in 2003 when you get him. You press a button, you've lost a missile. You press another button, you've lost the ears, and that sort of thing. It's just, yeah, I don't know. It was such a disappointment. If I'd gone for one of the big ones on eBay and spent real money on it, I'd be really annoyed with myself.
I feel like this episode's going to end with white text on a black background saying Dan never did speak to any of us again.
I thought you people had taste.
Well, flipping it round, I'm looking now at Legacy Armada Optimus Prime, and I'm thinking that actually does look quite cool because the style is amazing. The concept of the Optimus Prime is fantastic. The execution is, we could definitely fit this many levers and springs and catches into one toy. We could definitely, okay, we can't quite do it, but we had a go.
Yeah, I'm wavering on picking up the reissue of that toy, the Legacy.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna.
I cannot recommend it enough.
It might be a TFN splurge, even if it's overpriced or whatever. I might have to dip into that because it looks fun and it looks incredible. And I need a Prime.
If I could get a spark plug for him, I'd be over the moon.
If only.
Would you like a shiny one? This is the entire reason I got one on Vinted. I have a shiny Corona spark plug, which is it's beautiful. It's so gold and shiny.
Yeah,
it's very cool, but immediately my brain goes no because it's not right.
You want the yellow one?
I want the yellow one, because it's
Bumblebee.
Because it's Bumblebee.
Exactly.
Okay,
or spark plug, or Prime, or Leader One, whatever they're calling him.
Yeah, they're all Leader One.
Talking about this, oh yeah, he is Sparkplug and he is Leader One in the cartoon, and he is whatever else they want to call him. And Prime, yeah. So we've covered the toys, we've covered the cartoon, and what we've established is that they are both brilliant and awful, and the same toy and the same cartoon is both excellent and abysmal at the same time, which is fantastic. This is what you need of a toy line. But one thing I don't have any real serious opinion on because I've never delved into it, and Matt, you mentioned this as well. The comics. Is this Dreamwave did the comics?
Correct.
Yes.
And was it concurrent with the series or was it after the series?
I think it started a little bit before.
Okay.
The comic came first, and the comic from... I only know this because I've watched this recently, but the comic came first, and the comic sold extraordinarily well.
Well, for comics in Britain.
So I had no experience with the comic when it came out because I was too young to really be into that side of things. But from what I've read, the comic is a lot of what a lot of people, a lot of kind of adult collectors at the time went for instead of the cartoon. And from what I'd heard, it was great. And then I read it. And I don't know what the fuss is about. Like it starts off quite slow. It has like 4 or 5 arcs that are basically the same kind of thing of we're fighting over minicons. It's got some interesting concepts compared to the cartoon.
Yeah, the minicons actually have actual characters right?
They're actually
Actual
full-fledged
characterization.
characters.
Yeah.
They speak and everything. The problem is every character in it feels exactly the same.
Yeah.
I think maybe Sparkplug gets a bit more characterization. The Destruction Minicon team get a bit of characterization as being complete bastards. But yeah, other than that, everyone feels quite samey.
I agree.
There was one thing I really liked, and it was just at the start. And that's instead of the whole Minicons jump up, transform, and just immediately power link, Megatron is going around pulling Minicons out of cages that the other Decepticons are carrying, cramming them into vehicle mode physically, and then just slamming them onto his arm.
Yeah, there's a whole thing where the Decepticons are pretty much re-engineering the Minicons so that they are able to power up.
That's a fantastically dark concept that I don't think really kind of got explored nearly enough. Just like this complete loss of bodily autonomy, just so some guy can have a power up.
Yeah,
the idea that Minicons are somehow Transformers Pokemon is fascinating, actually.
It is a fascinating concept. The whole thing, but this is the thing, because I feel like what you're talking about, Dan, is too far the other way. Like, you want Armada to be, the cartoon, to be better, to be more fleshed out. And you're like, oh, maybe not into body horror and talking about slavery. And I'm not sure I want to go that far with the cartoon, but I want them to be a bit more developed than I'm always hungry. You know, did you enjoy reading the series?
I relate to that.
Yeah. It was a bit of a slog, to be honest. There were bits of it I liked. I was really looking forward to the final arc because it has this big, what's billed as a big cross-dimensional battle when Unicron appears and everything. And we get Armada Megatron fighting Generation 1 Galvatron.
Right.
Which was a pretty cool fight. And then we kind of go very quickly into the final battle against Unicron, and he goes out like a complete chump. Literally, I think Jet Optimus kind of flies around and shoots at him a bit. The Minicons gather into a group and hold up the Minicon Matrix, and he just gets lasered and disappears. And that's it. He doesn't even transform, I don't think.
What?
So for something that was kind of billed as being even more awesome than the ending of the Armada cartoon, it really didn't hit it for me. Like the Armada cartoon, I genuinely think is a better piece of media, at least for the overall story. Art-wise, art-wise and dialogue-wise, there's still some weird mistakes in there. The art's okay. It's that Dreamwave Pat Lee style, so there's some weird choices at places.
They're kind of like bloated proportions and weird sort of flexes and
I think
kind of glossy.
I think I shared the one of
interesting.
Megatron doing a JoJo pose and just kind of thrusting out his crotch and hip at the same time.
Yeah, there's a lot of that, and it's not good.
But yeah, the kids in it are even more insufferable than they are in the cartoon.
Not possible. You're lying.
Luckily, they do just kind of get forgotten about for like several issues and just cameo at the end. But yeah,
they're the most important.
Horribly
character.
Obnoxious. Well, evidently not.
Yeah,
but yeah,
it's a character because
I wasn't that impressed
by
the comic. I definitely liked the arcs and the overall story of the cartoon better.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Even if it does, have its actual flaws.
Phil, you were nodding along there. You've read it as well?
Yeah, I collected it at the time. I was collecting all the Dreamwave Transformers comics that were coming out at the time, and I don't remember actually enjoying it at the time. I did a quick reread just before this, in preparation for this episode, and like Dan says, it's not very engaging. Quite a slog. Art was not interesting. Story was not interesting. Characters was just dull. And I honestly thought, oh, and then I got to the end where Unicron, sort of just that battle peters out, and I went, well, good job I didn't buy any more of that then. And then when I was sort of filing it away, I realized, no, I bought the Energon comics as well. I clearly had more money than sense back then. Well, actually,
God.
I don't think that's changed. No, it's still me.
Right. So you didn't enjoy it at all. It sounds like it was a slog.
Yeah. It did not improve on rereading at all.
Wow. Okay. So I think what we've firmly established here is that Transformers Armada is both the alpha and omega of Transformers franchises. Like, it is the pinnacle and also the nadir of everything we love about this toy collecting nonsense that we do. It's got the best and worst cartoon. It's got the best and worst toys. It's got the best and worst gimmicks. It's got the best and worst articulation. I mean, I think that kind of covers all of it, really, doesn't it? It's got the best and worst comic, the best and worst game. It's kind of all over the place with it.
I think ultimately it was it was a new beginning for Transformers, at least in the West, since the RID wasn't really a kind of...
It's a bit slapdash.
Like, yeah, it wasn't really a West-driven thing. It was imported from Japan just to fill a thing, and everything before that was technically still G1. Like, Beast Wars was in the G1 continuity. They were just kind of steadily evolving what they built on in G1 more and more.
Yeah, like RID had a whole bunch of
time
G1 figures in there, right?
Yeah. This was the first time they really decided to do a full refresh and kind of start from the ground up again. I think there's a lot that kind of really shows its age now and really kind of shows the almost experimental nature of it. There's also a lot in it that, you know, they could never hope to match nowadays.
It was an absolute scramble, because after Beast Machines failed so badly, the plan that was going to go on the next series was going to be a continuation of that. I can't remember the name of it now, but that was cancelled. So RID was brought over and thrown together quickly to fill the gap, but there was a bit of a scramble to get something new. And I can agree with a lot of the criticisms for Armada, but by God, it tried. And I cannot help but respect it for that.
Yeah.
And I maintain...
No series
it was
of the
so
Transformers is as trying as Armada.
I felt that.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, maybe it's just the fact that I was just exposed to it until it was, ingrained in there. But it's not as bad as I thought it was. Phil, it just takes 24 episodes before it gets really good. But you can...
I've done 6. I'm going to skip to 53.
Yeah, I think you could pick and choose a couple, and 53 is a good one. And it's not the worst thing in Transformers by a long shot, because it's not Kiss players. So it's
that's a very low bar.
So when we do our episode on Transformers Energon, you'll eat those words, Joe.
Yeah, so I'm thinking we might start a Patreon, and if we hit a certain target on the Patreon or a Kickstarter or something, then as a bonus to that, we will tackle Energon.
We'll only tackle Energon if you pay us.
Go towards our psychiatrist bills.
Yeah, absolutely. For ages, Energon was on loop on Pluto TV, and I just catch a little bit of it and then just go, what am I watching? Why am I watching? No, next thing, please. It's unbelievable. They managed to create human characters worse than Rad and Carlos and Fred and Billy and all the rest of them. It's just
challenge accepted.
Yeah.
It says a lot that when Rad shows up in Energon, I'm like, oh, I'm so glad to see you.
Okay, so on that bombshell, what we're going to end with, I think, is, as the cartoon is so good, the three of us, not Phil, because you're excused from this, we're going to name our favourite moment from the cartoon to close out with.
I'm sorry, it's a stupid moment, but it's the bit where Starscream shouts at the Starsaber minicons and chases them away, and then they leave, and he goes, "Even the minicons have abandoned me."
Yes, yeah.
It's so dumb. I love it.
It's a beautiful moment.
It says a lot about the psychology of that character, I think. It's the putting the stick in the bike wheels meme, isn't it? Why do the miniguns do this to me?
The fact that we haven't mentioned it so far, but Starscream's arc in Armada, easily one of the best.
Yes.
Yeah. Would agree.
Excepting then Starscream's final episode, as well as the battle at the end between Optimus and Megatron, which we already covered. I think my favourite moment in it is Thrust going out like a whimpering coward and getting his head popped in Unicron's gears. Just so deserved, and such a brutal little moment for a kid's cartoon.
So cathartic, because you're right. He so deserves it. Feels good.
I think for me, one of the outstanding moments was trying to hide the minicons on a farm, and they make all these preparations. The kids, they're trying to be as inventive as possible, and they string a line of cans over the entrance so that if anything makes a noise, they say if anything knocks this string of cans, you run. And then 2 minutes later, Thrust knocks the string of cans, and they all stand and stare at him while he walks closer, and then go, "Oh no, what do we do?" It's like, God, you told everybody very clear. There's so much.
The animation budget doesn't cover running.
No, or getting further away when you do run. But yeah, there's lots of odd little moments in it that just make it very its own thing. But yeah, I didn't hate the time doing it. I'm glad I was doing other things. I couldn't sit and binge watch it properly, but I've got more of appreciation for it now. Okay, so I want to thank you guys for going on this journey with me, because Armada was something that I hadn't properly experienced before, and doing this podcast made me go through it. And I'm getting to appreciate the toys now as well, which is a really exciting time. It's a new collecting avenue has opened up, so I'm very much looking forward to that. Thank you very much.
TF Nation this year is going to be hilarious.
It's going to be brilliant. I'm mostly going to...
Jay!
What? Thank you very much, Matt and Dan, the young'uns, for bringing your nostalgia. You are still wrong in so many ways, but we really appreciate you bringing your wrong opinions to us. And Phil, thank you for trying. That's all we can ask.
And just on the
a big ask,
just about us being the young, the young'uns. What do you mean Armada's 23 years old?
Yeah.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah. This happens, guys. This happens. You'll be like us soon. It'll happen to you. Okay, thank you very much, guys. We'd love to hear your opinions on Armada. Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Did you enter this weird realm in between where it was both at the same time like I did? We'd love to hear from you. We are on socials. We're on Blue Sky. We're on Reddit. We are on Instagram as Fans Traumas. You can email us at fanstraumas@gmail.com, and we're on the Facebook as well. So please feel free to chime in. Let us know what your view of Armada is. We'd like to know your best and worst toys, your best and worst moments, and whether you think that bringing back gimmicky toys would be a good thing or not. And don't forget to check out Transformers the Show's live stream Friday the 5th of June to Saturday the 6th. I will edit that so it sounds a lot better. Thank you very much, guys.
Oh, we're so professional.
Thank you.
Good night.
Bye. Yes.
Yeah. Would agree.
Yeah,
although I would say it's not so much an arc as a wobbly back and forth that sort of like.
I'll take a wobbly back and forth. I had a good time.
Let's
take that out of context.